Hi guys, welcome back, and today we are crocheting this beautiful fringes skirt. That is the front view and this is the back view. We are using 100% milk cotton yarn. This is 50 grams. Alright, you can use any other type of yarn that you have. You need stitch markers, a pair of scissors, a tape measure, and on this project we are using a 3.5 mm hook. Okay, so to make the small stitches we need this smaller hook, and now we are starting to work from the waistband. Okay, that means the width, the thickness of the waistband, and I'm just going ahead to make a slip knot like this, then start by doing 15 chains. So 15 chains is the thickness of the waistband. So if you need your waistband to be more thicker, you can do 20 chains, but 15 is the average waistband measurements. So let's chain 15 and then we will continue. So once you're done with your 15 chains, we will skip 2 stitches from the hook and start working with half double crochets in every stitch that you have. Okay, so we are using half double crochets across all the stitches, and I will meet you at the end of this row. So we are done with the second row, and now we want to do with other rows. So chain 2, turn your work, always keep this first stitch that makes chain 2, yarn over, and now we are working with half double crochets in the back loop only. Flip your work around like this and then take only one stitch at the back like this and work half double crochets in the back loop like this all the way to the end, and I will meet you at the end of this row. Please note we are working half double crochets in the back loop only. Okay, so at the end when you finish your work, just chain 2, turn your work around and continue working with half double crochets in the back loop only. Please always keep the first stitch and then work like this, which is half double crochets in the back loop only stitch until your waistband perfectly stretches to your waist measurements, or until the waistband fits your waist measurements. My waist measurement is 30, so you're going to work like this until my waistband stretches to, slightly stretches to my waist measurements, or we will just work until it fits my waist measurement, then we will stop. I'm hoping you understand this part, so I will meet you when our waistband is quite long. Okay, so I'm done with my waistband. It stretches to my waist measurements, and now you have to join the two together. Okay, so chain 1 and then just use a slip stitch like that, then chain 1, and then we are going to join the waistband together using single crochets like this so that we have a proper waist. Okay, we have to join the two together like this, and we are using single crochets. Please, before you join, make sure you measure your tape measure to make sure it perfectly fits you. All right, so this is how your work looks, and if you flip it, the right side looks better and this will be the wrong side. Okay, so do not cut off your yarn, instead chain 1 and work single crochet in every stitch like this, and we're going to work single crochets all round your waist measurements. By now it's your waistband, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Please notice just a row of single crochets. Alright, so we are done, and this is how our work looks. And now it's time to begin on row 2, which is now the body of our dress. Okay, but please remember at the end here you are joining using a slip knot on top of the first chain 1 that you did. You remember that? Okay, do a slip knot there like that to join your work. Okay, so let's repeat that, joining using a slip knot like that. This is where my slip knot is. I had put it in the wrong place. Okay, so chain 2, and now this row is going to be a row of double crochets. Sorry, not half double crochets. Now we are working with double crochets. So chain 3, yarn over, and going to the next stitch and put a double crochet like this, and we're going to work double crochets on this row. But also remember, on this row we are going to put stitch markers so that we know where we put our increases, so that our work perfectly fits us at the hips measurement. If your waist and your hips measurement are the same, you do not need to increase, but if your hips measurement are bigger than your waist measurements, you need to increase for your skirt to fit you at the hips measurements. All right, so let's flip our work around. This is how the waistband looks. Okay, I'm trying to find the middle of my work before you put the stitch markers at the sides of your work. Put one on this side. This is where we will do our increase, and then put another stitch marker on this other side like this. This is where we'll do another increase. Okay, so this is how your work should look like, and please make sure they are all at the sides. If not, just readjust it like this, and then we will continue with double crochets until we get to the stitch marker, and I will meet you once we are at the stitch marker. Okay guys, we are at the first stitch marker, so remove it like this, and then we are going to do our first increase. Our first increase means we're just putting 2 double crochets in one stitch. That is the first double crochet. Go in the same space and put a second double crochet like this. It's the same space like that. So that means one stitch has 2 double crochets. That is how we do the increase. And then please put back your stitch marker and continue with double crochets until the next stitch marker, where we will put an increase again, which is 2 double crochets in one stitch. Okay, once you're done with the 2 stitch markers at the end here, we always join on top of chain 2 like this, using a slip knot to finish up on your work. Please make sure it's on the top, it's on top of chain 2. Your stitches might be a bit hard, but please make sure to go through it like that. Okay, and then chain 2 to begin the next row, and just go in the next double crochet like this with a double crochet. But for this second row, we are going to do something a little bit different. we will not do any increase when we get to the stitch marker. So once we get to the stitch marker, we will not do an increase. So I will meet you at the first stitch marker. I'm at the stitch marker, so remove it. As I said, we are not doing any increase on this row. Remove the stitch marker, go in that stitch like this with one double crochet, only one. Take your stitch marker, put it back on this new stitch like that, close it up, and continue with double crochets, which is only one double crochets across all the stitches. You will do the same thing in the other stitch marker, just put one double crochet, okay, like that. And then at the end here, your work should look something like this. All right, so at the end here, we always go on top of chain 2 like this with a slip knot to end the row. To begin the row, always chain 2, yarn over, go to the next double crochet and create a double crochet, and we are working double crochets across all the stitches that you have. Please note, at the stitch marker we will do an increase, okay? So I will meet you at the stitch marker. So for this work, we'll be increasing on alternative rows. That means if we increase on this row, next row no increase, next row increase, next row no increase. So always keep in mind which row you have increased so you don't double increase. All right, so that's how you're going to work until your work perfectly fits you at the hips measurements. So as I said, on this row we are doing an increase. The other one we didn't do no increase, and we worked like that until our work perfectly fits us at the hips measurements, increasing on one row and the next one no increase. So my hips measurement has to go all the way to 21.5 or 22. So you can see if I stretch my work, it stretches to 21.5 and also 22. So that means a size 44 hips can wear this dress. Once you have your hips measurement in check, kindly remove your stitch markers. You do not need them because we are not doing no more increases. From here, please do double crochets until where you want your skirt to reach the length, okay? I did double crochets all through until we get to 15. That is the length, and now I want to put the fringes, okay? So if you want your skirt longer, just continue the same pattern until you get to the length that you want. So we want to put the pattern for fringes, and it's gonna be mesh stitches. So we're chaining 4, 3, 4, yarn over, skip 2 stitches. On the third stitch, go in with a double crochet like this, again chain 2, yarn over, skip 2. In the third, do a double crochet like this. Let's repeat that. So chain 2, yarn over, skip 2, 1, 2. On the third, go in with a double crochet, chain 2, yarn over, skip 2. On the third, go in with a double crochet, chain 2, yarn over, skip 2. On the third, go in with a double crochet. That is the pattern, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. So we are at the end here, and at the end I have 2 stitches left. If you have 1 stitch left, still is fine. So just put a slip stitch on top of chain 4. Remember, we have been working on chain 4, so go on top of, we chained 4 at the beginning, sorry. So go on top of chain 4 and make a slip stitch like this. Again, to begin the row, chain 4, So we're only chaining 4 when we are beginning the row, but in between is chain 2. So chain 4, yarn over, then go to the next double crochet, which is this one, and make a double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go to the next double crochet with a double crochet, then chain 2, go to the next double crochet with a double crochet, and you're going to work like this until the end of the row. I will meet you at the end. Please remember, if you want your fringes to be more, so just make more rows of this mesh stitch. For me, I wanted short fringes, so I went with 3 rows of the mesh stitch. Okay, but if you want your skirt to have a lot of fringes, you have to do more mesh rows. Okay, I hope we are together up to there. So let's continue. As I said, I did actually 4 rows, and if I measure my work, this is how long it is. And now it's time to go ahead and put the fringes. So just cut your yarn any size that you want. It depends on how long you want your fringes, but keep in mind the fringes have to be folded in 2 like this. So I'm putting 2 of each. Take your hook and just insert them like this, and this is how we're going to insert them. Please note, we are not putting them in each stitch. You'll just be skipping some stitches, otherwise your skirt will be too heavy. So do not put them in every stitch. Just walk around, do a cluster, but not so cluster. Just play around with your yarn, okay, and see how much you can put in, but please do not put in every stitch. Your work will be so hot and so heavy. And that's how we make this beautiful skirt, my people. So easy. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. If you're still watching up to this moment, kindly consider subscribing and write your thoughts at the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy crocheting and happy crocheting. See you soon. Let's finish up on here, and then I will show you how beautiful the skirt looks on me again. Bye bye.